Class, you're welcome to lesson 3, still revision. So today we are going to look at some calculation in commerce. So let's go down straight to business. WAEC 2018 question 8. Now use the following information to answer the following question. Items. LE here is a currency of one of the West African countries, just like the way you have Naira. Then debtors amount to 30,000, cash in hand 6,6750, plant and machinery 72,000, motor van 81,000, stock of raw materials 12,000, loan 50,000, trade creditors 43,000. Calculate A, the liquid capital for the business. B, the fixed assets. C, Tisan Enterprises capital or statement of affairs as at 31st December 2010. And D, the working capital for Tisan Enterprise Limited. Alright, so these are the information given to you that you're expected to calculate this. So before you start, it's very important you rule each item to its figure so that you don't misplace the figure to the items, just like the way we did here. It's very important you do that. Let's go straight to the solution. A says the liquid capital for the business. What is liquid capital for the business? The liquid capital for the business are items like cash and readily available cash. It also has a formula which is given as current asset minus stock. Okay, so the liquid capital of a business is cash in hand, cash at bank, your debtors. These are your liquid assets of the business minus stock. It's very important you know that. So you can see the liquid capital is just your current assets. Your current asset less stock. So from the information of Tisan, we can calculate our liquid capital for the business as we pick the item debtors, which is an item of current asset 30,000, cash in hands. Yes, you have it there. Plant and machinery is a fixed asset, not current asset. Motor van, same. Stock of raw material, yes, it's current asset, but we said liquid, that is readily available for cash. Okay, so stock is they are resources. They are raw materials, so they are not cash. They are not readily available for cash. That is why you don't have stock included here. While loan is a liability in the form of long-term liability, while trade creditor is a current liability. Good bought from supplier on credit. So with that, we only have two items that make up the liquid capital for Tisan Enterprise, which is debtor 30,000, cash in hand 6,750, sums up to be 36,750. So that is the total liquid capital for Tisan Enterprise. Okay, it's very important you memorize this formula. Current asset less stock. That is the formula for liquid assets, liquid capital. All right, let's move to question B. Question B says what? The fixed asset. What are fixed assets? Fixed assets are the property of the business of long-term nature. They are there in the business. They are not consumable, unlike your current assets within a year. But fixed assets will definitely be there in order to facilitate the economic activity of the business. Okay, your fixed assets are your long-term property of the business. Okay, so example of fixed assets, you have plant and machinery, motor van, equipment, land and building, furniture and fittings. They are all fixed assets. In fact, even this board you can see here is what is the school board here is a fixed asset. Even the desks, the chairs, they are all fixed assets. The class itself is what fixed assets because they are long term. They are not something you can consume within the year. So it's very important you understand the concept of fixed asset. Okay, now let's go back to the question. Item. So item of fixed asset, long-term property of the business. Debtors can usually pay off within the year. So we don't pick debtor, cash in hand. Cash you can exhaust their cash. Plant and machinery, yes. Plant and machinery, motor van. Stock is not fixed asset. Loan is liability, not asset. Okay? Trade creditor is liability. So the fixed asset we have is plant and machinery, which is 72,000. Motor van 31,000 gives us 103,000. Okay, that is the total fixed asset of Tisan Cap Enterprises Limited. Now, question C. Question C. Tisan Enterprise. Calculate Tisan Enterprise capital or statement of affair. Statement of affair. So, yeah, there are two ways you can do that. You either use the T form. For those of you that have an account, this is not a problem. All right. So the other side here, assets. Now let's see what is the difference between this asset and liability. It's just a form of an equation. There is what we call an accounting equation, which is asset equals capital plus liability. But I don't want to bore you too much on that because this is commerce, right? So our assets are the properties of the business, be it fixed or current asset. Then what are liabilities? Liabilities are what? Total money owed by the business to outsider. Total money owed by the business to the owner of the business and to outsider. Okay? In other words, we can say the total value of the assets you have. The total value of the assets you have, the source of the total value of the assets you have is what? They are liabilities. Okay? These are the property. Where do the business get the money or the assets, the money from to have this total asset? It is, so the liabilities are the sources. Okay? So the source of this asset are what? Are liabilities. So it is expected that both the left hand side and the right hand side must equate each other. The total must equate each other. Now, to the question, it says capital. So what you do is to arrange those items that are of assets and negate it with those items that are of liabilities of the business. So, and that is what we did here. Okay? That is what we did here. Right? So let's go. Plant and machinery. So we're going to pick up the assets. Plant and machinery, asset, fixed asset, motor van, fixed asset, stock, current asset, debtors, cash in hand. So these are the total assets of Tisan Enterprises, which sum up to 151,750. 151,750. That is total asset minus total liability. Gives you capital. Again, total asset minus total liability equals to capital. And that is what we did here. Alright, so let's pick out our long-term liabilities. Long-term liabilities are money owed by the business to outsider that has a maturity period of more than a year. Okay? Why current asset within a year, right? So loan in the form from the bank, 50,000 is classified here as our long-term liability. Why our current liability, 43,000. This is the total what? Current liability. Okay, so 151,750 minus 93,000 gives you 58,750, which equals to your capital as requested in the question. Tisan Enterprises capital or statement of affair. So that is why is what missing here. So this is your capital. So when the capital is added to the total asset, you have the same total with the asset, 151,750. I hope it's very, very clear. All right, let's move to question D. Question D says the working capital. The working capital. The working capital too has its formula, which is given as working capital current assets minus current liability. Total of current assets minus total of current liabilities. In other words, you need to bring out the totals, the items of current assets and the items of current liabilities. Then you now negate each other like what we did here. So from the information given to us, the current assets are what? Stock of raw materials 12,000, debtors 30,000, cash in hand 6750. So the sum gives you 48,750. Total current asset is 48,750. Why current liabilities? Trade creditors. Current liabilities, not total liabilities. Current liabilities, please. Current liability minus current asset minus current liabilities. Okay, the reason why we don't have loan here, loan is classified as what? As long-term liability. And from the formula here, it says current liability, not total liability. Okay, so your trade creditor is 43,000. Okay, now you use the formula to arrive at your what? At your working capital. Current liability, which is 48,750, minus current assets, which is 48,750, minus current liability, which is 43,000, gives you 5,750. So that is that. You can see it is as simple as that. What you just need to do is to understand the concept. Once you are able to understand the concept, solving it will not be a problem. It's very, very important. You know assets, what are current assets, what are fixed assets, what are current liability, and what are long-term liability. What assets are the properties of the business, be it of long-term and short-term. Okay, why current liability? You also have it as long-term liability and current liabilities. Okay, before we round up, before we draw the curtain for the day, I want you to try this at home. Let's see, using this formula, total asset minus total liability, calculate the capital of Tisan Enterprise. So what I want you to do here is to arrange or to identify the items of total assets, you sum it up, and identify the items of total liability, you sum it up. Remember, total liability is always long-term liability plus current liability. Okay, so you do that. Definitely, if your answer are correct, then you should arrive at the same capital, 58,750. It's very important you identify them so as to it will help you to aid your understanding. It's not necessarily you must go through this method, because I know some of you might still find it difficult, especially those of you that did not offer account. So it's very important you do this assignment. So you can WhatsApp me through this number 08035801104. Malam Nasir Muhammad is your teacher for the day. Thank you very much. Please stay safe and stay healthy.